So now we actually move on to our fourth speaker. Our fourth speaker is actually Miss Pamela Seng, who will be sharing with us more on promoting employee well-being at the workplace. Miss Pamela is a senior consultant and research lead for Great Place to Work ASEAN and ANZ. She has had over 2 decades of experience in both the public and private sectors, working with companies in their journey to become fair and progressive employers. Let's welcome Ms. Pamela to share with us more on how we may promote employee well-being in the workplace. Ms. Pamela, please.
Hi, thank you very much. Just to make sure that you can hear me. Okay, okay. Yeah. All right, so thank you, Carmen, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm very happy to be here with you this afternoon, and I really enjoyed listening to Anil, Erin, and Angie's presentations. And I definitely picked up some useful tips from their sessions and even got to know my breathing patterns and my sympathetic nervous system a bit better. And now I'm just going to shift our focus to employee well-being at the workplace. While employee well-being has been a growing area of focus even before the COVID pandemic, the experiences over the past 2 years have actually moved this to the top of the human capital priority list for many organizations. And a lot of focus has been placed on mental well-being in particular, and in ensuring that employees have work-life balance and are supported by their organizations to achieve this. And a survey by Oracle last year found that 7 in 10 Singaporeans found 2021 to be the most stressful year ever. And about 6 in 10 of them are struggling more with mental health in the workplace as compared with 2020. The previous speakers have shared some very useful strategies and tips on what we can do to maintain or manage our own mental wellness. But what can we do as leaders of our own teams to promote better mental health in the workplace? So these are 3 things we found some of the best workplaces around the world did. Number 1, they connected with their people individually to learn how they could support them. So beyond just asking, how are you? They've used specific questions that inquire into the emotional well-being. Things like, are you concerned about any of your friends or family members? Or how are you feeling with work from home arrangements? Or even things like, are you coping well with your children's HBL? Number 2, we all know that what leaders say and do set the tone for the rest of the team. And leaders in best workplaces shared their own challenges and experiences. And that has encouraged their team members to be honest about theirs, because these leaders showed them that they are tending to their own mental health. So then their team members also know it's okay to tend to theirs as well. And importantly, they were generous. It's very hard to hold in all these stresses, and it's even harder if you feel they're in it alone. So these leaders in best workplaces chose to err on the side of big-heartedness. And they trusted and empowered the frontline leaders to do what was right for their teams as well. So all of us in this virtual room today would know that the world of work that we've been experiencing for as long as we've been working is not the world of work that we are experiencing right now. The employee experience is evolving, and so is employee well-being. A new normal has emerged at work, and COVID-19 has been a major driver of this employee experience around the world. Last year, Great Place to Work partnered with researchers at Johns Hopkins University to conduct a global employee well-being study. The team surveyed over 14,000 people from 37 countries to better understand the factors in the average worker's day-to-day experiences that contribute to employee well-being in the workplace. They then contrasted those findings with Great Place to Work's global database of millions of employee surveys to identify drivers and practices used by best workplaces worldwide to improve employee well-being. And promoting employee well-being means looking beyond people's physical health and the type of work they do. These two dimensions are important, but only part of the complex blend of experiences shaping well-being in the new workplace. So while there are many considerations that can lead to creating a climate of well-being in the workplace, Great Place to Work sees holistic well-being as comprising 5 broad areas in the employee experience. First, mental and emotional support. This refers to working in an environment that builds and sustains positive mental energy. Second, a sense of purpose. And this means experiencing a sense of fulfillment, meaning, and progress at work. Third, personal support. And this means working in an atmosphere that feels safe and respectful, particularly in the amount of flexibility, control, and support provided in accomplishing goals. Fourth, financial health. So this is about believing that your work is fairly compensated and supports financial security and freedom of choice. And fifth, meaningful connections. This refers to an environment characterized by authentic and caring relationships between the employees. Okay, we found that globally, the state of well-being is not pretty. 79% are not satisfied with their general well-being. 42% do not find meaning in their work. 37% feel that their work does not make a difference. 25% feel lonely at work. And 32% don't feel that they belong. In fact, the research found that globally, only 17% of employees are in a high state of well-being, what the researchers defined as flourishing. And unfortunately, 14% were in a low state of well-being. In Singapore, the patterns all held true as well. 87% are not satisfied with their general well-being. 53% don't find meaning in their work. 54%, don't find meaning in their work. 52% don't believe that they make a difference. 31% feel lonely at work. And 39% don't feel that they belong. But there is hope. We found that experiences of well-being are much better at the world's best workplaces. And across the globe, 61% of these employees consistently experience well-being. And as a result, they are 3 times more likely to intend to stay with their employer and 3 times more likely to recommend their employer to others. And among our 2021 Singapore Best Workplaces, 53% of employees consistently experience a high level of well-being. And this is compared with 9% of employees in an average company in Singapore. And on the right, you can see how employees at Singapore's Best Workplaces responded to 8 statements around well-being. And this is as compared with employees at the average workplace. So, what are these best workplaces doing to create a high trust culture and address their employees' well-being needs? Firstly, they know that cultivating a high trust culture is fundamental to a work environment that builds and sustains positive energy. And best workplaces have employee networks or resource groups. These are often championed by senior leaders to foster diversity, inclusion, and belonging. Because now it's not just about D&I, but it's about DI and belonging, DIB or DEIB. And such groups enable employees with common characteristics to interact with and learn from one another and generate more awareness and understanding within the organization. Some of these groups also work with the company to address identified gaps. Secondly, they know that when employees can connect the dots between their day-to-day tasks with the organization's mission and strategy and understand how their contributions make a difference, they are more likely to feel a sense of purpose at work. And in today's workplace, we know that ESG is also a very big motivator for people, especially the younger employees in the workplace. So if the organization's purpose also contributes to the ESG issues and the ESG agenda, people tend to resonate more. Best workplaces consciously find ways to help employees connect these dots by communicating and engaging them, seeking their input, and importantly, co-creating that journey towards their true north. Thirdly, best workplaces offer employees control and choice in how they manage their work responsibilities alongside their personal and family needs. And this is especially important with the COVID situation where a lot of people are actually working from home. So the challenges they experience throughout the day are not just always 100% work related. They respect that employees have personal lives beyond the workplace, and they wear multiple hats in the course of the day. And these best workplaces consciously try to support their employees in fulfilling their different roles. In some cases, it could be small tweaks to policies or additional flexibility just to help them to address the needs that they have. And in this way, employees feel supported by the company, supported by their bosses. Financial health. So beyond just paying employees fairly and providing the assurance of financial security, many best workplaces also offer additional financial support and assistance in a whole variety of ways to meet employees' personal and family needs. This is especially so when the COVID pandemic first started, and then there were a lot of concerns over job losses and financial uncertainty. And last but not least, best workplaces strive to build a workplace environment characterized by authentic and caring relationships. And this is demonstrated at different levels of the organization, from corporate policies developed with a people-first philosophy, to how senior leaders make decisions, how people leaders manage their teams, and how the co-workers interact with and care about one another. And now it's your turn. So here are 6 things that you can do as leaders of your own teams to promote employee well-being. Make a habit of measuring employee well-being because employees' needs are always evolving and individualized. And this makes surveying, listening, and measuring essential tools for understanding their current experiences and tailoring strategies to support them. Next, letting employees know that their company and leaders care is a crucial first step in acknowledging the emotional burdens that employees may be facing and showing that their organizations support them. Next, well-being needs personalization. So coaches, experts, and counselors are critical resources to guide employees in developing strategies and skills for their own situations, strengths, and values. And this is particularly true for mental health. And mental health is an area that best workplaces have put a lot of effort in recently as well. Next, well-being is an experience shaped by the personal interactions and group dynamics that employees experience daily. So enabling employees at the team level to serve as role models and advocates can inspire others to also advocate for a climate of well-being. And you can also improve employees' capacity to achieve better well-being with self-development courses, mentorship, and open communication about professional goals and work-life harmony. And lastly, allow employees some level of autonomy in their work while linking their role to the outcomes of the organization. This can help to provide a sense of control and purpose, which are really key elements in fostering a sense of well-being. And very importantly, something to note is that all 5 key aspects of employee well-being are interlinked, and they all have an impact on one another. Organizations cannot just focus on one key aspect in isolation without also addressing the others, because together, the 5 key aspects make up the employee's experience of holistic well-being and work, and the sum is greater than its parts. Next. Oh, okay, if you'd like to read, okay. Oh, what happened? Sorry, hang on a sec. Okay, if you'd like to read more about this research, please visit our website to download our latest report on employee well-being in the new workplace. It's just hot off the press and we uploaded it yesterday. You can scan the QR code on top to download that report. If you want to connect with us, please feel free to connect with us using the QR code at the bottom, and one of my colleagues will get back to you. Thank you very much. Back to you, Carmen.
Thank you so much, Pamela, for the delightful sharing. So we'll now move on to the Q&A segment. And I did earlier on check in to see that we do have a few questions who came in already. So let's take a look at them. Okay, great. Okay, so let's take our first question, which is, what if the opportunity cost of being generous at work is your own well-being, and the person saying that they want to be generous to their charges, but their boss is often going by the book. So do you have any thoughts on this, Pamela?
Okay, I think the main thing is that it's not an individual's person that can transform the culture of well-being in the organization. Truly, it is something that the whole leadership team and leaders at every level need to know the importance and buy into this. As much as possible, if you can represent your team and you can speak to your boss, and the culture of the organization allows you to actually give that feedback. And truly, there have been benefits to err on the side of big-heartedness. We found that globally, even when COVID struck, the employee survey showed that over the past few years, the best workplaces, the trust index actually scored a lot better. People would think that during COVID, right, the engagement, the trust level, the overall sentiment goes down. But among best workplaces, that's not true. It actually went up over the past 2 years since COVID started. And that is because there is that holistic culture. So one important thing is the leadership has to buy in. And it is important, as much as possible, within your sphere of influence, to be big-hearted, to be generous, and stand up for your people.
Thank you, Pamela, for that. I think we do have time for a bit more questions as well. So I think let's go to our next question, which is someone is asking, how do I get onto Singapore Best Workplaces list? Could you advise on that as well?
Sure. Thank you for the question. So the first step of that is really to be part of our Great Place to Work certified community. And you can do this by having your employees complete an online survey that measures their experience of your workplace culture. This survey measures whether employees trust the people they work for, whether they have pride in their work, and whether they enjoy the people that they work with, that is, they experience camaraderie. The next step is really to complete a culture brief. And this is some background information about your company. And you tell us about some of the programs and practices that make your workplace unique. And if the results meet the certification requirements and you join the certified community, you'll also be eligible for other recognition, including ranking on the Singapore Best Workplaces list. Give me a minute and I'll paste the URL link into the chat for those who are keen to sign up for the 2022 Singapore Best Workplaces list. The deadline for application is on 5th of August. So yep, just give me a minute and I will paste that in.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Pamela. Yes, I think as Pamela is actually going to sieve out the link and also share in the chat group, feel free to just click on the link and you're able to find out more regarding how you could also get your company certified with Great Place to Work Singapore. So as we are waiting for that to happen, we have a final question, also anonymous. Actually, this participant is hoping to find out more with regards to whether employee well-being, whether is it just the responsibility of company leaders and HR. So it's actually a very interesting question, and I think Pamela, do you mind sharing your
Sure.
thoughts on this?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Yes, senior leaders and HR really play that critical role in establishing the well-being policies and programs and role modeling the desired behaviors. But very important also are the people leaders at every level. We know that this is the middle level between the senior leadership in HR and the employees, and they are a crucial filter or facilitator of any organizational initiative. Their day-to-day actions, their interactions with team members, and the decisions that they make will help to cascade and enable or impede and hinder successful implementation. So likewise, if some of the people leaders don't take ownership to support well-being in their teams, then that's where you'll see a difference in experience across the different groups of employees. But having said that, and as our earlier speakers have also shared, individuals can and should also proactively take care of their own well-being.
Thank you, Pamela. Thank you so much for addressing all the questions that we have for this segment.
Thank
Really
you very
appreciate your
much.
time. And now we're